Hello friends, in my this video I am going to discuss one MCQ question from the topic Java functions. Okay, so this type of questions may appear in your exams or placement exams for different service based companies like TCS, Infosys, Cognizant, etc. Okay, so the question is, what will be the return type of a method that not returns any value? Okay, so basically there are four options: double, void, int, and none of the above. Okay, the questions may appear simple, that is I hope you can easily tell this and correct answer, and that is basically void. Okay, so our correct answer is void, but the question comes, see, in interview you may be asked this type of question, that if the method is not returning any value, then why we are going to define some return type? Why not defining nothing? Okay, that's what the question. Okay, why not writing nothing? That means what I want to say, that instead of void or int or double or float, whatever that is whatever return type we mention in a function, if we don't mention anything like constructor, what is the problem? There is some problems. There are two reasons why we use void instead of writing nothing. Okay, so the reasons are like, if you write nothing, the main reason is like, suppose you have written one code, then and you have not mentioned any return type in a particular function, then that indicates two things. Okay, number one possibility is that you don't want to return something, that is fine, but there is another possibility that you forgot to define the return type. Okay, so suppose you have not written anything in the return type of the function, then this is also possibility now that you forgot while writing the logic, by mistake you forgot to define the return type. So to avoid this, or to make the understandability of the code more, or to make the code more clear, okay, we use this return type as void, which will indicate that you don't want to return something, so that you are using the void as return type. Void means returning nothing, but to indicate that you don't want to return anything, you should use the void. Okay, another one important reason why we use void instead of writing nothing is like, this is like kind of historical reason. Like in C, with when we started with C, what happened, that whenever we have not defined any return type for a particular function, by default the return type was integer. Okay, now suppose we follow that method only. So now when you have written any function and you have not returned anything, then by default integer will be returned, and integer, if it is not defined, then 0 will be returned, or something, some garbage value may also be returned. So what will happen, that value whatever is returned, okay, so like one good example, suppose you consider printf statement. Okay, so printf, suppose you want to print something, then we use printf in C. Now printf, along with printing, what it will return, what are the total number of characters it has printed, but we don't require that thing, right? So basically, whatever, suppose you have printed 5 characters in your screen, so what will happen, the printf statement or printf function will basically return character 5. Okay, that is integer 5, which will denote that, or which will indicate that 5 characters has been printed, but we don't require that. Okay, we just simply want to print, we don't require any return type. So what happens, this is inefficient way, because as by default printf is returning one integer value, that is total number of characters printed in the screen. So what will happen, that return value you have to take, and that will be stored in somewhere in memory, and that is wastage of memory. That is different issue, that after that if we don't use that, that will be garbage collected, or that may be out of this scope, that is different issue, but that will come to memory and occupy this space for at least a fraction of a second, but that is inefficient way, right? Basically we should utilize our space in the optimized way. Okay, so that we, if we don't want to return something, we should use void, okay, instead of writing nothing. Okay, This is one very important point, and there are many situations arises in programming when you want to return nothing. Suppose you are writing one program, and just in a particular part you want to sort one array, but you don't want to return. Okay, so you have just sorted and the function is over, and you simply execute further. Okay, so in this case, what is the return type? Void is the return type. Suppose you want to print something, okay, in the screen, you don't need to you do not need to return anything, just simply want to print in the screen using that function, then you use void. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. Thank you for watching.